On day 12, we're going to be looking in this area. We'll be taking a whale watching tour out of Newport Beach again. We head out early in the morning so that we can catch the earliest whale watching trip. And soon we're entering Newport Beach and getting ready for our whale trip. We'll be going out on the Ocean Explorer again as we did the other day, but the oceans are going to be a whole lot calmer today. As we head out, we see a cormorant sunning itself on a buoy. There are also lots of cormorants and especially brown pelicans up on the breakwater as we head out of the harbor. We're not very far out of the harbor when we see our first whale. This is what we're going to be looking at. And it's just right off the entrance to the harbor.
Slick, shiny spot in the water is called the whale's footprint. That's created by one upstroke of the whale's tail. So it displaces a lot of water as it kicks its tail, and that's one way that you can follow the whales if they're not really showing or putting out much of a spout. You can kind of follow that trail of footprints.
This whale has now come to the beach and is rolling in the sand to knock off some of the barnacles. You can see it right in front of the two people with their dogs. Sometimes you see a pectoral fin stick up and sometimes a back like that. But it's just right off the shore. I'm having a hard time on telephoto keeping it on the whale.
Gives the whales some room. It's not the safest thing to swim with the whales.
Here we see a back and a tail come up. We're now leaving the whale on the beach and heading out to deeper water to look for more whale. Soon we find a pod of 3 gray whales.
So those are much bigger whales than we saw earlier. That one on the beach was a juvenile, big tall spouts. look we're gonna get all day probably. Both whales right next to the boat, 2 o'clock. Wow, right there. So the one that's closer to us is a little bit smaller. The one closer to the beach, that's a big one. You can really see all the markings on the skin there. Nice big tall spout. I think there's 3. There's 3 for sure. There's another one that's leading the pack right there. That's the 3rd one. You can see the color spot of all 3 of them. Interesting. Well, that's one. They're all big tail flip.
Diving deep.
That's so good. Another tail.
Third one. Said there's a third one. There it is.
They're still right here. Right next to us here. See how this sequence turns out. Very, very, very good look. Oh, so good. Very, very good whales here.
When they put their tail up, that's a really deep dive and it pushes them under faster. It's now time for us to go back to the harbor, but there are other boats that are out here. There's usually 3 or 4 whaling boats out looking. And here's some California sea lions that we see on the way back in.
It's okay, it's easy to do. They don't get streams. Or tuna, yellowtail, bonita, crab, lobster, octopus. Anything they get their teeth on, they will try and eat. There might be a...
And now it's time to head back to our hotel for the night. We're going back a little bit early so that I can wash clothes, so the traffic's not quite as bad as it usually is during rush hour. We pull into our hotel, and then I go back out and wash clothes for us. Thus we end day 12.